Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BC's Sports Historian channel. You already know we talk about the could've, would've, and should'ves from the sports world. And it's me, your boy BC, back with another one. Today, we are going to cover a former national championship winning quarterback from the University of Tennessee, none other than the great T. Martin. I mostly remember him as a winner. He wasn't too crazy in the stat department, but the guy was a great leader. He beat teams in the SEC that I hate, such as Florida and Alabama, several times through his career, which is something that even Peyton Manning can't even say. And he just had that it factor. He won games, won a national championship, did his thing, got drafted into the NFL, and we're gonna get into it right now. Leg up. T. Martin attended Williamson High School in Mobile, Alabama, where he excelled in both football and basketball, leading Williamson to state titles in both sports and earning significant accolades as a top recruit. As a top recruit, T. Martin was considered one of the best players in Alabama, paving the way for his legendary college career. He accepted a scholarship at the University of Tennessee. While at the University of Tennessee, Martin played college football under head coach Philip Fulmer from 1996 to 1999. Martin was a backup to Peyton Manning during his freshman and sophomore years. During his junior season, Martin led the 1998 Tennessee Volunteers football team to a 13-0 record and a Fiesta Bowl victory over Florida State, winning the school's first NCAA Division I-A National Football Championship since 1951. He was teammates with running back Jamal Lewis in his early years at Tennessee and wide receiver Peerless Price, who each went on to play in the NFL. As a Florida State fan, that championship game was a tough one to watch. I do like the University of Tennessee, mainly because of Peyton Manning. I'm a huge Peyton Manning fan, and I root for Tennessee when they're not playing Florida State, which is very rare. But it was bittersweet because I like Tennessee, I like T. Martin, but Florida State's my team. And I actually forgot that he played with Jamal Lewis and Peerless Price. Jamal Lewis went on to be a great running back for the Baltimore Ravens, and Peerless Price ended up having a pretty decent career. I mostly remember him on the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not sure if he played with anybody else, but he's another one, Peerless Price, that we might get into in this channel. Anyway, jumping back in. In the 1998 season, T. Martin broke the NCAA record for consecutive completions. Against South Carolina, Martin completed his first 23 passes. Combined with a completion on his last pass the previous week against the University of Alabama, Martin's string of 24 consecutive completions and a 95.8 completion percentage set new records. Martin broke the Southeastern Conference record of Ole Miss's Kent Austin, which was standing at 20 consecutive completions at the time. In 1999, Martin led the Volunteers to their second consecutive BCS Bowl, which happened to be a 31-21 loss to the number 3 Nebraska Cornhuskers in the Fiesta Bowl. During Martin's 2 years as a starter at Tennessee, the Volunteers were 11-1 over 6 major conference foes, which included Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Florida. And that's what I was saying in the beginning of this video. He was 2-0 against Alabama, Auburn, and Georgia. Okay, that is pretty unheard of and really tough to do. I'm not sure how many SEC quarterbacks can say that they beat those juggernauts. You know, had an undefeated record against those juggernauts, and then going 1-1 against Florida. Wish he could have went 2-0 against Florida, but I'll take a split. For those of you who don't know, I can't stand the University of Florida, being a Florida State fan, but that's just me. Looking at his college statistics here, the 1998 season was his first year as a full-time starter. That was by far his best season. He had a completion percentage of 57.3. He threw for 2,164 yards, had 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and had a passer rating of 144.4. He had a pretty significant dip his senior season, completing just 54.1% of his passes. He threw for a couple more hundred yards, 2,317. He threw 12 touchdowns and had 9 interceptions with a passer rating of 125. Entering the draft, his pre-draft measurables were 6'1" and 5/8 inches tall, 227 pounds. He ran a 4.61 40 and had a vertical jump of 34.5. The measurables were pretty good. Basically 6'2", 230 pounds, big guy. And for a big guy, he ran a 4.6 and had a 34.5 vertical. Pretty good numbers if you're a stat junkie. T. Martin was drafted in the 5th round with the 163rd overall pick in the 2000 NFL draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Martin spent 1 season in the NFL Europe League. During the 2002 season, he helped lead the Rain Fire to a league best 7-3 record. The Fire lost in the World Bowl, falling 20-26 to the Berlin Thunder. In 2004, Martin was released as a member of the Oakland Raiders after 4 NFL seasons. Martin finished his playing career as the 3rd-string quarterback for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 2004 and 2005. So Martin was drafted by the Steelers, didn't amount to playing in any NFL games. Back then, the NFL Europe was pretty big. It was like the training, like minor leagues for the NFL, I would say. And kind of like in baseball, how you have the major leagues and you have AAA, AA. Well, NFL Europe was kind of like a AAA kind of farm system for the NFL. NFL teams would send players down there to continue playing, practicing, getting better, developing, and if they improved or got better, they would find their way back to the NFL. But unfortunately for my boy T. Martin, he did not do so. However, he does have a pretty extensive coaching career that we will get into right now. Let's get it. T. Martin began his coaching career as the passing game coordinator at Morehouse College in 2006. In 2007, Martin joined North Cobb High School as their passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. In 2008, Martin joined North Atlanta High School as their offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. In 2009, Martin was hired by the University of New Mexico as their quarterbacks coach under head coach Mike Locksley. In 2010, Martin joined as the wide receivers coach at the University of Kentucky under head coach Joker Phillips. In 2010, Martin was given an additional role as passing game coordinator as well. In February 2012, Martin was hired as the wide receivers coach at the University of Southern California under head coach Lane Kiffin. He had been linked with jobs at both Alabama and Oregon previously. News of this hiring at USC was broken by a tweet by quarterback Matt Barkley. T. Martin replaced Ted Gilmore, who left to take a job at the Oakland Raiders. On December 18, 2015, Martin was promoted to the offensive coordinator position for the Trojans under head coach Clay Helton. On December 27, 2018, after a 5-7 season, Martin became a casualty of a staff shakeup and was fired from the position. On January 15, 2019, Martin joined the University of Tennessee, his alma mater, as their assistant head coach and wide receivers coach under head coach Jeremy Pruitt. And on February 6, 2021, Martin got his first NFL job when he was hired by the Baltimore Ravens as their wide receivers coach under head coach John Harbaugh, replacing David Culley, who departed to become the head coach of the Houston Texans. And most recently, on February 22nd, 2023, T. Martin was made quarterbacks coach, replacing James Urban, sticking with the Baltimore Ravens. T. Martin passed on his athletic genes to his sons, it appears. His oldest child, Amari Rogers, played as a wide receiver for the Houston Texans. Amari is a Clemson University alumnus, where he recorded over 1,000 receiving yards during his senior season. Martin's middle child, Caden, is a highly recruited football and baseball prospect who is committed to the University of Miami as a baseball player, but will also walk on to the football team. In other ventures, T. Martin owns Playmakers Sports, a company specializing in sports, event planning, quarterback training, and skills development. He is also a college football expert on the Comcast Sports Southeast program named Talkin' Football. He is a quarterback coach for the Nike Elite 11 quarterback camps. Also, he coaches the Nike football training camps and has trained many high school and Division I quarterbacks. In 2008, Martin created the Dual Threat Quarterback Camp and Academy in Atlanta, Georgia. That wraps up the subject of T. Martin. Had a great college career, won a national championship, didn't do much at the professional level, but transitioned very well into coaching. Started out small, some high school gigs, passing coordinator, offensive coordinator, and slowly moved up the ranks to where now he is the quarterbacks coach with the Baltimore Ravens. So shout out to him. I was a big fan of his. He won some big games at the University of Tennessee, did his thing, and continues coaching and doing his own thing, has his own companies. As always, if there are any athletes that you would like us to discuss in this channel, please let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can also check out our other videos on other great athletes that we consider to be in the could've, would've, should've category right here in the top corner. Thank you, and we will catch you on the next video. Holla at your boy, BC, out.